of this convocation ceremony. Thank you.
Good morning. I officially declare the opening of this convocation ceremony. Please be seated.
Chancellor Chambers, Dean Sheldrick, and Senior Vice President Antonacci, faculty, staff, parents, friends, and of course, the graduates. Welcome to the convocation for the class of 2022. This is our first in-person convocation in 3 years, and I could not be happier to see you all live in the audience and not within a frame in my computer screen. It is so wonderful to instead greet you in the physically non-distant way that human beings have expressed their social nature from time immemorial. Needless to say, the last several years have been unprecedented. But members of the class of 2022, you have all successfully navigated the multitude of obstacles and challenges that the pandemic threw in front of you. Part of the significance of this event is to recognize the unique sacrifices that you've made in reaching this point. Sacrifices that none of us on this podium had to make when we were completing our university studies. But while we cannot overlook how the pandemic impacted your experience, we should not let the pandemic make us forget what your accomplishment as university graduates essentially represents. One of the primary missions of the university is to promote human flourishing by helping each of you become enhanced versions of yourselves, more skilled, more thoughtful, more knowledgeable, more socially conscious, and most importantly, more empowered to contribute to your communities than you were when you started your university studies. By receiving your degree and diploma today, you have all demonstrated your own human flourishing as a person. Of course, that project of self-enhancement doesn't stop here. You're all going to continue to flourish as individuals as you go off to pursue your careers or future studies. And we here at the University of Guelph-Humber look forward to hearing about, and indeed boasting about, your accomplishments. Though human flourishing is always a work in progress, today, however, is a day we step back, we focus on what you've accomplished up to now. For each of you in the class of 2022, this is a significant juncture in your lives, which we are here to honor and applaud. So enjoy the ceremony today, and I hope you have a wonderful time afterwards celebrating this achievement with your family and friends. And now I call up Chancellor Chambers, and then she will be followed by Senior Vice President Antonacci.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today with all of you as we celebrate the journey of the amazing graduates from the University of Guelph-Humber, an incredible partnership between two great institutions, the University of Guelph and Humber College Institute of Technology and Advanced Learning. My name is Marianne Chambers. Last week I was installed as the Chancellor of the University of Guelph, but that does not describe who I am, only the latest stop on my own journey. I am a daughter of the Caribbean island of Jamaica. Almost 46 years ago, my husband Chris and I chose Canada to be our home, the place to raise our two young sons. I made a commitment then, as I do now, that we would be good for Canada and Canada would be good for us. I see that as entirely consistent with the University of Guelph's commitment to improve life. The scope of that, the needs, the opportunities are limitless. They are local and they are global. And they are as equally relevant to you as University of Guelph-Humber graduates as they are to the graduates in Guelph or Ridgetown, and indeed to every one of us in this room today. Consistent with the objects and purposes of the University of Guelph Act of 1964, being the intellectual, social, moral, and physical development of its members and the betterment of society, the university also applies a definition of sustainability adopted from one established in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development, which states, sustainability means meeting the needs of today's generation without compromising the needs of future generations. At its broadest scope, it encompasses economy, society, and environment. We're designed to be social beings. We were not created to live in isolation of each other. It should not require a crisis for us to recognize that we are essential to each other's well-being. Whether the program of study that you chose to pursue has been business, family and community social services, early childhood studies, kinesiology, media studies, justice, or psychology, you have crucial roles to play in addressing issues that are essential to the quality of life we all seek to enjoy. Matters of such magnitude with their broad implications and consequences call for the attention of the brightest minds from every academic discipline and every career path that we choose. If you imagine the various ways that we might define quality of life as human beings, it becomes obvious that there are connections, collaborations, and partnerships required everywhere. Graduates, you are building upon a foundation established by high achievers from every college of the University of Guelph and every part of Humber College. I hope you have a sense of what is possible. I want you to aspire to greatness. Most of all, I want you to make your lives matter because our world truly needs you to do that. The world should be a better place because you have lived. As you embrace the pleasure and satisfaction of these moments and look with optimism and courage towards the next chapters in your lives, I wish you continued success. And I ask that you remember how you have gotten to this point. And I'm not thinking about how hard you worked, really. I am thinking about those who have cared so much about you and have often made significant sacrifices to enable you to dream big and hopefully to improve life for yourselves and for others. This would be a good time for graduates to stand and applaud all who have supported you along the way. Always remember, we accomplish very little on our own. So remain close to the University of Guelph-Humber and the University of Guelph. These will always be your alma maters. Be very proud of that.
Chancellor Chambers, members of the Platform Party, honored guests, faculty and staff, family and friends, and especially our graduates. My name is Gina Antonacci, and it is my pleasure to bring greetings from Humber College to the University of Guelph-Humber graduating class of 2022. You know, I've been a part of many convocation ceremonies in many different roles, as an administrator, as a faculty member, as a parent, and as a graduate myself. And each ceremony invokes that same pride of achievement, the joy of success, and that excitement for the new beginnings and possibilities that await the graduates. To the graduates, you did it. You are graduating today with 2 credentials and the strengths and the benefits of both a college and a university education. You've worked hard, persevered through challenges that none of us could have predicted, and as a result, you're better poised than any other graduating class to enter a world that is much different than it was when you began your studies. And as the Chancellor said, the world needs you now more than ever. We need you to continue to be confident and courageous as you step into a future that will present uncertainties and challenges, but will also present great opportunities for growth and innovation. Continue to use the skills that you've learned as a student and as a scholar. Think critically, continue to question and challenge. As a University of Guelph-Humber student, you've been part of a highly diverse and inclusive institution. Continue to embrace diversity in all of its forms as you move forward. And finally, reach back. Use your privilege to support and empower those who will come after you, those who will follow you. You leave here today with the ability to make a difference in the world for yourself and others. We are so proud of all that you have achieved, and you've proven that you can do remarkable things. We can't wait to see what you do next. Good luck and congratulations, graduating class of 2022.
I should have mentioned this before, but my name is George Bragas. I'm the Associate Vice Provost Academic at the University of Guelph-Humber. Now is a good opportunity, better than never, to introduce myself. It is my honor now to to present the Walter N. Vaughan Medal, which was established in honor of the late Walter Vaughan, a former Secretary of the University of Guelph Senate, and a man who was committed to student involvement in university governance. This award is presented to a student with high academic standing who has made a substantial contribution to student life and to the university, particularly through involvement in and commitment to Senate activities. Chancellor Chambers, it is my pleasure to present this year's recipient of the W.N. Vaughan Medal, Justin Mahali. As an enthusiastic and effective student representative on the University of Guelph Senate, Justin Mahali demonstrated an ability to foster relationships between administrators and students and between the main campus and the University of Guelph-Humber. During his undergraduate studies in business administration at Guelph-Humber, he demonstrated exceptional service to wider university governance. After joining the Senate in 2020, he served as a Student Senate Caucus co-chair and was an active and engaged member of Senate Committees on Quality Assurance, Bylaws and Membership, and Priorities and Planning. He also represented undergraduate students on the Strategic Framework Refresh Committee, the Student Budget Committee, and the University of Guelph Board of Governors. Described as a strong and committed student leader, Justin displayed leadership and an ability to articulate questions, offer perspectives, and challenge assumptions in a collegial, positive, and respectful manner. His informative and insightful Senate reports as caucus co-chair helped advance the student perspective on issues ranging from accessibility of campus facilities to academic programming and the impact of COVID-19 on the student experience. His contributions have encouraged other students to speak and engage with Senate and with Senate subcommittees. Justin's support of constructive engagement has served to foster connectivity and mutual understanding of issues. Among his honors, he received the 2022 Michael Nightingale Community Enrichment Award for significant contributions to the University of Guelph-Humber community. Though his commitment to the day-to-day workings of Senate and his broader contributions to U of G, through his commitment to the day-to-day workings of Senate and his broader contributions to University of Guelph governance, Justin Mahali has exemplified the spirit of the Walter Vaughan Medal.
Good morning. My name is Byron Sheldrick, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the Dean of the College of Social and Applied Human Sciences at the University of Guelph. And it's my distinct pleasure to introduce today's convocation speaker, Jason Murray. Jason Murray has a compass for social justice and systemic change. He has dedicated a career to working with communities to empower their voices and experiences. Jason served as Executive Director of the Urban Alliance on Race Relations, a human rights organization addressing racism and anti-Black racism. He also launched a television show on Rogers TV called Bullying, Battered, and Bruised, an in-depth discussion featuring stories of survivors, addressing the underlying issues of violence, abuse, and finding resilience. Understanding the impact of policies on everyday experiences, Jason has worked for the provincial government, including the Solicitor General, the Accessibility Directorate of Ontario, and the Ministry of Colleges and Universities. With a passion for student success, Jason taught post-secondary courses at the University of Guelph-Humber and Humber College students. He also led student leadership programs, including creating Humber College's first peer mentoring dual credit student program, developing community engagement for peer educators for the University of Walter Sisulu in South Africa, and leading Humber College's collaborative project to address gender violence prevention. Please join me in welcoming Jason Marai.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sheldrick. Good morning. Good morning. We are here. You are here. Finally, a return to an in-person ceremony. I'm sure for many of you, when you first began your academic journey, you'll have thought about this moment, the moment where you finally graduate. It may have been a stored memory, sparked by seeing a sibling or a parent or a loved one cross this stage, and in return, left you imagining your own walk, your own strut, your own swagger and poise. But for most of you, you probably didn't expect to be interrupted by a global pandemic, and neither the push and pull of having to study remotely, then to hybrid, and back to in-person. It has not been easy for you. It has not been easy for any one of us. So let us begin our celebration today by taking a collective sigh. Please join me all together. Let's hold our breath in and exhale. That was a nice sound. Let's try that all together, and maybe my colleagues on stage can join us too. Let's all hold our breath in and exhale. Do you feel better? Graduates, have we met? Have we met before? No, right? I think for some of you I have, and others I have not. Well, in order for us to get to know each other a little bit better, I'd like to play with you my favorite icebreaker game. It's called Two Truths and a Lie. Have you ever played this game? Yeah? Are you ready to play this morning? Wonderful. Well, graduates, let's begin. The first statement I want to tell you is that today's ceremony is not about you. It is not about you. Now, you might be saying, it has to be. I paid my tuition. I did all those all-nighters. I wrote all those exams. All that is true. But this moment is also about those that helped you along the way. The ones that stood by you when you were frustrated. The ones who lent an ear for you to vent. An arm to offer a hug, and a heart to always be by your side. These people come in many forms. They may be your parents, your best friends, professors, counselors, or even random people. Ultimately, they're the ones who sparked in you a desire to pursue a passionate life. They are on this journey with you. Today is their day too. The second statement is that you are here today because there is no one like you. There is no one in this world who may feel the exact same pulse, the exact same energy, the exact same drive, the exact same compass. You are here today because your compass has guided you to make decisions that feel right for you. After all, your compass has always been with you. It helped you select the University of Guelph-Humber. It helped you select your program. In fact, it's helping you right now, in this moment, in this room, staring at the core of your feelings, the drive for you to decide what might be next on your journey. The last statement is that you may fail. You may fail in your attempts and desires. You may fail in your risk-taking. You may not get that first job you applied for, or the second, or the third. You may not get a promotion. You may not get into a master's or a PhD program. You may even chart a completely new career and wish you hadn't. But guess what? That is all completely, perfectly fine. The roadmap after graduating is completely open, with its mountains and valleys, its blue skies and misty days. So graduates, which statement is truth? Which statement is a lie? Let me tell you a secret to this game. What is a truth and what is a lie will change. It will change at different moments in your life. Your supporters may change, they may be replaced, but what will remain is your choice to surround yourself with those that love you unconditionally. What guides your compass may change. You may want to pursue a job outside of what you studied, you planned, or expected. But listen to your compass. It beats at the core of who you are. And lastly, you will succeed because of your hard work and belief that you matter, that the lessons of the past will always transform into the goals of the present. Graduates, I know this very well. In fact, for years, I emailed Dr. Paul Sherman, the head of the Community Social Services Program, asking for a chance to teach just one course. Just one course. Well, guess what? He didn't reply to me. He didn't even know me. And each academic year, I emailed him, and I didn't get a response. But who knew from that very first email I sent so many years ago that I would get the distinct opportunity to speak to you today at your graduation. Graduates, believe in yourselves. I do. On behalf of the University of Guelph-Humber, I wish you congratulations on today. Please turn to your fellow classmates, applaud yourself, and for your triumph. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those inspiring words, Jason. Graduands, the moment has arrived. Will the graduating class please rise? Chancellor Chambers, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees with all of the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees with all of the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Senior Vice President Antonacci, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who will fulfill the academic requirements of Humber Institute of Technology and Advanced Learning in their respective programs that they may be admitted to their various and several diplomas with all of the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
I admit you to your various and several Humber Institute of Technology and Advanced Learning diplomas with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Will members of the graduating class please be seated? There will be two groups graduating this morning. I would ask that you withhold your applause until the end of each group to ensure that each student's name can be heard clearly. At the end of each group, though, we will expect some truly thunderous applause from family and friends. Chancellor Chambers and Vice President Antonacci, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the University of Guelph-Humber that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration Honors and to the Diploma in Business Administration. Ikra Abbas, with distinction. Rojale Rian Abdullah Muhammad. Nana Ajiman. Mubarak Ahmad. Maria Alam. Anthony Albanese, with distinction. Haya Ali. Faiza Amin. Mariam Amin. Margarita Ferreira Amari, with distinction and the Vice Provost Award winner. Maggie Bang. Ramandeep Kaur Banga, with distinction. Victoria May Kasuge Banikud. Jugraj Bassi. Matthew Bailey, with distinction. Eyal Benzer, with distinction. Tanvir Benipal. Vani Bajan, with distinction. Simran Bharat. Riddhi Bhatt, with distinction. Jaskiran Kaur Binning. Ethan Black, with distinction. Aaron Blazes. Anurit Boparai, with distinction. Michael Bowie. Cassandra Kakamo. Taunok Zun Chow. Aaron Douglas Carmichael. Janini Chandranathan. Kiana Channer. Emmanuel Chaudhry. Caleb Chromo, with distinction. Curtis Chung, with distinction. Sarah Chavolello. Samuel Serco. Nicholas Consalvo, with distinction. Sapna Dehele. Monica Jome de la Cruz Dalice. Brianna Danielle. Jason Anthony Da Silva, with distinction. Naveen Kaur Denoa. Ranveer Dillon. Daniel Lucas DiDomizio. Lisa DeSevo. Brianna DiVincenzo. Ramit Dole. Khalid Elmi, with distinction. Burak Ergüler. Suleiman Ertaş. Lucas Fachin, with distinction. Luca Paul Ferrante. Bianca Maria Filiumeni, with distinction. Philippe Fiuza. Noah James France. Patrick Franklin. Kasia Fraser Eiffel. Amar Gannison. Norma Marie Gonzalez Wilson. Shania Gounden. Rochelle Henry. Samuel Hernandez Sanchez. Sebastian Ho Obando. Dane Hussey, with distinction. Abdul Karim Iqbal. Ajlal Jacob. Kaushika Kanapathipalai. Aman Kang. Locken Kang, with distinction. Amanpreet Kaur. Kamaljit Kaur, with distinction. Ashleen Kaur Cror, with distinction. Dudnath Brian Kishan. Tyreek Knight. Temilola Kumapei. Zachary Lafleur. Harrison Michael LaMarche. Vanessa Torres Lima. Jennifer Liu. Sahibjot Singh Man. Dean Andrew E. Manrique. Stephen Marshall. Paul McGee. Catherine Lindsay McGuire, with distinction. Bhavya Mehta, with distinction. Caitlin Menezes. Erica Migas. Justin Miles Mahali. Sartu Nuruddin Mohammed. Noah Mondro. Arnold Moses. Kiana Muchili. Arshad Muhammad Ismail Khan Mustafa. Hassan Nadim, with distinction. Raja Nazir. Tilan Chi Nguyen, with distinction. Pramvir Singh Nijar. Wayne Nalud. Olivia Rosemary Nwoshi. Dishan Yindu Musango. Jessica Christina May Osborne, with distinction. Furley Pamorka. Samuel Park. Hetnabin Patel. Kushal Patel. Mohammed Patel. Mackenzie Pipia. Brianna Pulano. Nishanth Puvanendran.
Let's go!
Martin Kasrani. Connie Kwok. Priyam Randaria. Jacob Ricci. Drew Rodriguez. Lucas Romano. David Rossick. Erica Salcido Narvaez. Ashmi Samlal. Jaskiran Samra. Lucas Savo Sardero with distinction. Zinat Saeed Zeta. Isabella Natalina Severino. Agam Sharma with distinction. Harmeen Singh. Sapna Singh. Bimanendra Singh Ha. Dhruv Singla. Audrey Smith. Sarenya Srikanthan with distinction. Angelina Stalteri. Stephen Stamko. Kayla Tonti with distinction. Christopher Totsis. Adam Ross Verone Ferreira. Severio Virilli. Luba Anastasia Vesentivic. Natalie Victor. Joshin Warich. Lucas Wong. Noah Wright. Yep. And that was the BBA class of 2022. Chancellor Chambers and Senior Vice President Antonacci, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the University of Guelph-Humber that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Science, Family and Community Social Services Honors, and the Social Service Worker Diploma. Salia Ahmad, with distinction. Patience Iono Ajay. Khadija Beg, with distinction. Tatiana Bailey Scott. Deanna Berry. Juliana Bianco, with distinction. Kelsey Blood, with distinction. Pauline Brown. Caitlin Elizabeth Brinchka, with distinction. Melissa Carone. Brandy Chambers. Anna Jeannie Collins. Malgorzata Dabrowska, with distinction. Serena Del Grande, with distinction. Jessie Danielle D'Alfonso, with distinction. Nadine Sarah Deputer, with distinction. Anne-Marie Clovelin Dixon. Yasmin Etwari, with distinction. Erica Fabiano. Veronica Faroni. Ashley Fernandez. Mackenzie Rose Ferreira, with distinction. Ava Carmela Florio, with distinction. Lillian Christine Froman. Bhavi Gandhi, with distinction. Vanessa Garitano. Jessie May Genier, with distinction. Ava Gabrowska, with distinction. Julia Greco, with distinction. Caesar Guerin, with distinction. Sherry Krista Hawthorne. Rochelle Hayres, with distinction. Janice Holzmer, with distinction. Stiljana Resteva, with distinction. Cheyenne Madison Hutton Walker, with distinction. Kimberly Hyde, with distinction. Donnie Jackson. Janelle Tiffany James. Nicole Kennedy. Jennifer Asquith Kerr. Rija Khan, with distinction. Muibat Adsuawa Laju Ushairu. Jamil Lambert. Lena Letsu. Jenny Lee, with distinction. Daniela Stefania Maldonado, with distinction. Catherine Matimu. Siboney McBean. Keely McHugh, with distinction. Jaya Shayla McDermott, with distinction. Blessing Mensa, with distinction. Hedra Moshi. Sandra Moshi. Isabella Danielle Montana. Emily Ann Nolan, with distinction. Brooklyn Madison Norris Beaudry, with distinction. Bolanle Peace Ojut. Alaba Olawatosan Olalei. Erica Christina Osborne. Haley Janelle Pasma, with distinction. Carla Marie Pearson, with distinction. Remy Pelletier. Lisa Penner, with distinction. Chelsea Deandra Persad. Nana Poku. Trisha Reeves, with distinction. Demoya Richards. Sarah Lynn Robertson, with distinction. Kristen Rupchan, with distinction. Stacy Lynn Sawyer, with distinction. Evelyn Sarah Schleihoff, with distinction. Jenna Gloria Scott, with distinction. Cassandra Amy Shepard. Carla Marie Seamack, with distinction. Anicia Triana Spence. Isaac Carl Soroka, with distinction. Nicole Saint Marthe, with distinction. Jillian Sweetman Rice, with distinction. Janet Anne-Marie Thompson. Alyssa Christine Sancisaris. Riley Vanderberg, with distinction. Jessica Vistica. Isabella Votto, with distinction. Strahinja Vukoyi. Nicole Lynn Whitcroft, with distinction. Amanda Denise Whitehead, with distinction. And that was the class of 22 for FCSS. Chancellor Chambers and Senior Vice President Antonacci, I would ask that you confer the various and several degrees and diplomas on the graduates listed in the program but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduates not present.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer the various and several diplomas in absentia on the graduates not present today.
Following convocation, a reception will be held for our new alumni and their guests in the foyer. This is an opportunity to congratulate our new members of the alumni family, and we hope that you can join us. In a moment, the platform will process out of the hall. We ask that you rise, if you are able, for the recession and remain at your seats until the platform has left the room. And now, as is our tradition, the final word is from our Chancellor.
Convocation is dismissed.